CHICKEN. Use the code chicken in the shop. CHICKEN.
Yeah, I almost feel bad for you after you're laughing at me on your stream that we surpassed you this much. Guys, the chicken is here bringing you another Beach video. In today's video, guys, we got the crew on here. We got Mr. OP Destroy, Shish Kebabber, and we're going to go over some changes that we've made since the start of Season 12 that have been pretty key and should be able to help you guys out. So we'll start with you, Mr. OP. What's your kind of first thoughts in the season so far?
Hey, chicken, what's up? Welcome. Thanks. Well, welcome. No, thank you for welcoming me on your channel.
OP's tired, guys.
I am. Yeah. You know what? Season 12, I always love the start of new seasons. It gives you a fresh look on exactly what to see, what to feel, the choices you make as you barrel down that tech tree. I am running 2 accounts, so I'm doing a split so I can have different content to showcase. But nonetheless, I'm actually digging it. We all called it from the start. It's going to be a heavy rush, and it sure is. And I'm having a good time, and I'm digging it. How about yourself? You doing okay?
Good stuff. The Warship Professor. What are you thinking?
Yeah, very fun season so far. We've already got a lot of different sub metas emerging. You know, you've got the heavy rushes with bullet. What rank do you take bullet at? Do you want to get shock bomb? Do you want to get troop damage? There's a lot of these questions that everyone's kind of working out to see what's best. We are seeing a very early, powerful artillery meta. In fact, global #1 right now is Cactus. He's rocking it with max artillery. One thing to note though about this season, something odd has happened at the 2 ER level. The 2 ER level has the ER HP of the 4 ER level. This is something that we're asking Supercell about and trying to find out what happened. Was that a mistake? Was it intentional? We don't know. But
so this we have seen this for sure on a bunch of different accounts, not just one account.
Oh yeah, no. It's a for sure thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's kind of weird, but it's also at the same time, I don't know. A lot of people probably don't stay at 2 engines for very long. Most people that are normally competitive on warships, anyways. But yeah, that's definitely a huge thing for sure. So let's talk about base design. So when I was last streaming, the idea was we had an engine room here, an engine room in the middle, and then the engine room up top, all kind of in a straight line. But there's a couple different better ways to go about this now, and it also depends on some of your defenses. So basically, I think overall, kind of the triangle setup is probably the most optimal for heavy rushing. Since most people are probably still going to be at 3 engine rooms, we're not going to get into 4 today. We're just going to talk about kind of optimizing 3 engines. So this is kind of the style, and it's basically dependent on if you have mines, if you have flamethrowers, makes a big difference. But for the most part, to keep it simple, it's a triangle base. You have an engine down at the bottom in the center. You have one spread out at the top and the left, one spread out at the top and the right, and you have mines and defenses around those, and the whole idea is to just slow down the heavies a little bit. So there's that base. What's the other one? Not the Shish compact base, but there's the was there another design we had, guys?
Well, there's a triangle where you've got basically just 2 of the ERs defended, and then the one at the top right has no defenses at all. That's meant to help counter the bullet rush, where bullet goes to take that ER, because if bullet's not taking damage, he actually does less damage. That's why people are keeping that top one undefended in some layouts. But then there's also the compact like you're talking about too.
Yeah, so there's some interesting kind of variants there, and that's a pretty good key to note about bullet. That's his damage limit, right?
Well, yeah, he'll fire faster the less health that he has, so that'll effectively increase his DPS. If bullet's taking damage, he'll do more DPS. So if you assume your opponent's going to be sending bullet to that ER, don't give him any more reason to do any more damage to it, so he can take longer to kill it.
Man, it's crazy. You think it's not that complex of a game until you talk to Shish Kebabber, and it's still learning new stuff every time that the guy comes on. It's just great. So, So yeah, let's take a quick peek at the tech tree here, and what do you think, OP? Was I guess my path, it might be a little bit different from your guys' paths, because you had a little bit more keys and tokens to start out with. But basically, my plan was to stay in the heavy rush meta, try to get artillery as quickly as possible. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll say what are the most important upgrades that you need to get, before deciding whether you're gonna go for artillery or try to rush to rocket choppers. OP.
Well, you know what? I mean, we all know that heavy rush is pretty much the safest way to seriously, securely get down ERs. In some instances, maybe not, but for the most part, I think with the mines, the rifleman's probably not the way to go. Although I've seen rifle heavy combos do some good stuff. But again, you have to max them up or get them a little higher than level 1. But as far as the artillery, that seems like it's the sure way to go at this point because, yeah, we all know that when you pick up air support like artillery or barrage, you can literally at this early on art out or bard out an ER. And just like Shish said earlier, Cactus is doing just that. And he's global 1 right now. So I guess that's right now the path to get to. But right now, like I said at the beginning, I was running 2 accounts. I'm doing a tech riding path, which is basically just gung-hoing through ERs as fast as I can, not looking back. And then I'm base riding, like Shish also pointed out, where we are just kind of slowly meandering our way through the tech tree to build up our defenses and just, go with the flow. So I'm experiencing both paths, but I think the sure good way, the most beneficial way right now is going towards artillery. Right.
So, I think that makes sense. I agree with what you said. I think some of the key things to make sure that you get are going to be building health. Obviously heavies. Bullet to rank 3 would be the minimum, Shishk?
Yeah, rank 3 is a big turning point for Bullet and his DPS and the energy drink. Because remember, all of that stuff upgrades with each tick of Bullet.
Right. The mines, probably most important defense, you guys would say?
It's very vital. I mean, you'll stop riflemen rushes because if you don't have mines, riflemen will just swarm and destroy your base faster than heavies because they do move and there's a lot more DPS behind them.
Right.
But as far as mines are a good counter to riflemen rushes and even warrior rushes. If people decide to, I know Shishkababra has warriors, but he's had some really good hits with some of his warriors. So watch out.
Yeah, it depends how you use the mines. But as far as a defensive building goes, I would say flamethrowers take the cake.
Yeah,
they hurt.
It seems like it, eh?
And they hurt it a lot.
Yeah. We just got flamethrowers. As you guys can tell, we just got them recently. So, playing around with a couple different positions there, but they are definitely very, very strong. So let's get into let's just do a live attack here and just kind of go over the. I think there's basically only one way that we're really doing the heavy rush, right? Like there's not. There's a few different ways to do it, but it's essentially ends up, it's not like one is necessarily that much better than the other. So basically what we're doing is we're dropping Bullet on the right ramp on the top right corner. He immediately flare to the top engine room. You're going to use 2 energy drinks to take that down. As he turns this first corner, we launch out all the heavies on the top right corner of the left side ramp. And then we just flare the last 2 engines after Bullet takes the first one down. Is that basically what you guys have been doing?
Yeah, one note on that applies to a rank 4 flare as far as the flare timing
goes. Right, yeah. Because
if
not, you're going to be spamming out flares constantly.
Right, but you basically want it to expire as soon as he gets there. That's the idea.
Yeah, and if I don't know if I threw out heavies on the on the right side somehow. But that's okay. Yeah, I think you guys understand the idea, so. And then we're going to use 2 energy drinks, then we're going to flare up onto this engine, and then we're going to flare up onto this engine way up here. We're making okay time, I think. It can be deceiving. It does take them a while to move across the whole map, but we'll use an energy drink there to speed up Mr. Bullet. And we might finish 310, 311, nice. Yeah, and basically in terms of times, we're looking for like 310 plus is kind of what we agreed on.
Yeah,
310 or better is really what you want to be shooting for. And really, no matter which way you like to do your heavy rushing with Bullet, what it really comes down to is your flare timing and your energy drink timing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's the biggest thing. And
what I was doing 2 chicken last night, which was yielding me like 312s, 313s, was dropping Bullet, like you said, up to that top ER, and then doing a 4-4 split. And let the heavy just kind of do their thing. And that did, on occasion, get me some good times, too.
Okay, like a free clear strategy almost?
Well, yeah, you can't flare until Bullet takes that ER, or whichever second one goes down second. Then the last one, you just flare the last one, and you hope that your left flank and your right flank are pretty strong to do either or, The
difference there is that we now have beefier defenses, and there's more defenses on the deck. So
Right.
if you do run across a base that's not as well defended, that split drop approach is definitely the way you want to go. But you know how metas evolve and change so quickly. So we're already seeing more defenses on the deck. So I don't think split dropping is as viable now as it even was, what was that, 18 hours ago or whenever
Yeah.
the heck it was, 12 hours ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it changes so quickly. But yeah, I mean, it is a heavy rush meta. But like we said, it's not just as simple as that. There's always the kind of an optimal way to sort of do things. So even though it is a heavy rush meta, like it's still a bit different than what we've seen before, based on the defenses and overall tech, I guess, that we have available. So yeah, I don't know. I'm having fun with it with it so far. I mean, we'll see. It might get a little ugly once we get like really deep into that artillery meta, but we'll see how that plays out. And yeah, guys, I hope that helps you out. Big shout out to OP and Shish Kebabber for coming on today. OP, I think it's time to get to bed, but yeah, check those guys out if you haven't before. And yeah, make sure to use the code chicken in the shop. What's that song, OP, that you love singing? You know it.
CHICKEN. Use the code chicken in the shop.